Hey, do you want to see some magic? Here, let me play some music on my phone. Right? Not very loud, right? Now watch. I have this. Hello and welcome back to another Random Wednesday episode. Now, occasionally I come across things that are very technically interesting and well, I get very tempted to buy them even though they are things I don't really use. And well, today's product, this little guy here, is the perfect example of this. This is the Luxa², I guess, is that how you say the name? The Luxa² GroovyT Magic Boombox, which is this guy right here. And if you ever come across this, either in an online store or even at a physical store, this is almost always marketed as something magical. And the reason for this is, as you've seen in the intro, I did not really pair my phone to this, right? All I had to do to get my music to play there was to just bring it close. So that's kind of interesting, right? How does that actually work? Apart from the obvious answer, which is of course magic, the real reason why this device works is because it actually works on some kind of a magnetic induction principle. The idea is there is a little coil, probably somewhere around here, and what it does is when, the speaker of your device comes close enough to it, it picks up on the magnetic fields used to actually vibrate the speaker on your phone. This was really interesting because we spent a lot of time trying to see if it was just a simple microphone. It is not, because it doesn't pick up things like, tapping on the device itself. And we've basically proven that this is indeed, well, magnetism based, because this actually sort of acts as a little antenna as well. But we'll leave that for later. I'll show you the little sort of pickup experiments we can do later. For now, let's delve into the device, and then later we'll come back to these. So let's begin by taking a look at the box. This is the Luxa² or Luxa² GroovyT Magic Boombox speaker. And this is the price I paid for it, right? About 20 Sing dollars. Do note of course that this price is, pricing from a brick and mortar store. So, well, if you get this online, it might be cheaper. In fact, it usually is, because that's just how things kinda are. So, yeah, let's take a closer look at, well, some of the claims here. Easy to use, ultimate simplicity, high quality sound, and as well as a battery life claim of 5.5 hours. So yeah, fairly versatile device, right? And well, around the box, apparently there are actually two versions of this, right? A black version as well as a red version. So the one I have, of course, is the black one. Going around to the back, well, again, it's the same bunch of claims. It says nothing required. No cables, no Bluetooth, no infrared, no Wi-Fi. So yeah, this of course is a very huge selling point for this device. It describes how it is used. Simply place your device on top of it. And yeah, again, the same claim that there is a 5.5 hour battery life with an internal 800 milliamp battery. Its features, well, not a lot. Two LEDs, one for power, one for charging status. There is an auxiliary input, USB charging port, and switch. Also in the box, two cables come with it. So yeah, these are your two cables that ship with the device in the box. Your standard 3.5mm jack, as well as a USB charging cable. In the box, you will also find a little instructions manual. So yeah, basically just a few pieces of paper that sort of explain the same thing. So yeah, all fairly typical stuff, right? Nothing out of the ordinary here. And yeah, also not a lot of information on the box itself. So let's get rid of all of this and take a look at the actual device right here. As you can see, there really isn't very much going on. The top of the device just has the branding as well as a line, which actually tells us, how you want to align your device. The front of it, just speaker grills, right? And if we sort of go around to the back and switch it on, well, a light here lights up. Other than that, there's really nothing very remarkable about the front either. The sides are completely plain. The bottom, well, just has a little bit of information. And at the back, well, you can kind of see a little grill pattern here, even though I don't believe there is actually a speaker back here. There is auxiliary input, USB charging port, and your on-off switch. Also, the LED charging indicator is actually right here, this little circle here. Other than that, there really is nothing about this box at all. There isn't even a volume control. So this is as bare bones and simple as it gets. As demonstrated in the intro, the way you actually use this is also very simple. So let me just zoom out a little bit. And the idea is, first, of course, you want to switch this on. So I have it on already. You can see the light there. Then all I have to do is to, well, get some music playing on my phone. What you have to do then is to line up your speaker to approximately this corner, and it will pick up and amplify the music. So yeah, the song is already playing, so I'm going to just put it over here like that. And there you go, just like that. The moment I lift it off, it goes quiet again, right? Put it on, and it goes. Now, you don't actually have to be super close to the point of pickup, but the closer you are, the better the sound is going to be. So if I were to put it here, it's not amplified at all, or maybe slightly, and the closer I move it, the louder it gets. See? So yeah, that's the sort of general idea in which, this works. So yeah, it so happens that, my device is perfectly positioned for this. But if your device has a speaker that is in a slightly odd position, like, in the middle or even worse on the opposite side, you will have to do some finagling to sort of get it to pick up correctly. One thing to note also is that you are going to have to play music at a reasonably loud volume. If you use something very quiet, like I tried this with headphones or earphones, and, well, it did pick up, but you can barely hear anything. And that's understandable because there just isn't enough power for this guy to pick up. So now that we've seen the device, we can talk about its pros and cons. One obvious advantage of this device is, of course, its cool principle of operation, right? This kind of makes an interesting little, party trick or whatever. If your parties consist of showing speakers to people, I don't know, I don't go to parties. The whole point is, well, the whole magnetic thing is both cool and actually quite convenient. Because you don't have to perform any connection step, well, playing music through this is as easy as just putting your phone on top, right? You don't even have to go to a menu, you don't even have to connect a physical cable. And even if you find that gimmicky, you can still find a 3.5mm jack at the back of this speaker. So even if the whole magnetic thing doesn't work or, gets boring, you still have a traditional way of connecting your phone to your speaker. An additional advantage is that, well, this speaker actually amplifies sound greatly. It actually does a very good job in making things loud. And surprisingly, if you were to use the magnetic pickup, it actually gives you even better amplification. Of course, on top of this, there are some disadvantages of this device. For one, there is actually no volume control. And what that means is, well, you are going to have to rely on the volume control of whatever device it is you are driving the speaker with. This is generally not a problem because most sources have their own volume controls. But, well, just something to note because you don't have a physical control. Secondly, this device can actually pick up some interference. And, well, I can, show you an example here real quick. So I'm going to switch it on and I'm going to just bring it kind of close to my laptop here. So I'm not sure how well this is picking up, but it is actually getting some interference from what I believe are, perhaps my Wi-Fi antenna, Bluetooth antenna, things like that. Right? So there are a few more examples of this in action and I will sort of cut into them later on. But the point is, if you are using this in a place with very strong electromagnetic interference, this might pick them up. I don't think this is generally a problem because it does require quite a strong signal to, go through it before it can boost it. But yeah, this, is a problem inherent in the design. What's even worse is, even if you were to plug in the 3.5mm jack, the pickup is still active. And this doesn't seem like a very good way of doing things. I mean, of course, firstly, if there is any interference and you want to work around it using the jack, you can't because the pickup is still active. In addition to that, it seems like the two signals are just summed together. And what this means is there is a possibility that if you drive both inputs with very strong signals, that you could fry something inside, the speaker itself. Again, this is highly unlikely to happen, but well, because of its design, there is this flaw, so you will have to look out for it. Anyway, let's have a very quick digression. Let's use this as a little antenna to go around and pick up stuff around the house.
This one is extra interesting because this is the charger of my laptop, right? The power from the mains comes in here, and this is, the step down version going towards my laptop. So what you're hearing on this side is the AC hum, 50 Hz. But when you move over to the other side, you hear a much higher pitch. Watch. Can you hear that? So this seems to tell us that, well, whatever's coming out at the output is actually of a higher frequency, which is really interesting.
So yeah, just an interesting little side effect of, just the design of this product. Let's actually sort of wrap things up, right? I'm going to mention the final few considerations before we actually wrap up. Firstly, before you buy this, you're going to have to think about a couple of things. If you're going to use the, sort of induction feature, you will need to make sure that your device can actually be positioned on top of, well, the speaker. If you have an overlarge device like a tablet, it may not be, the best. And if your device has a speaker that is positioned in the wrong place, well, you could have some problems as well. If for whatever reason you're going to be using this in a place with a lot of electromagnetic pollution, this might not work, like you expect, even though I doubt this would be a very huge problem. So yeah, what is my verdict for this product? And that is, it actually is a good product, right? It sounds good, it has a very high amplification level. However, I feel like, for something of this quality, you may be able to find something cheaper. It's unsurprising that some of the cost goes towards, having the whole electromagnetic pickup. So unless that is a feature that truly adds value to you, you may want to research some other, alternatives before you pick up this device. Nevertheless, I don't want to take away from its novelty and from the fact that, well, it does its job well. The point I want to emphasize is just that if you don't need the pickup or you don't think you will use it, then perhaps you might want to consider other alternatives as well before committing to this device. So yeah, regardless, I will be keeping this device around. That's all there is for this particular episode. I hope you found the review useful. I hope I've helped you understand a little bit about how this works under the hood. But again, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, you're watching 0612 TV on NERDfirst.net.
Thank you very much for watching. If you like my work and are feeling generous, you can shoot me a one-time donation on PayPal or sign up for a recurring one on Patreon. Of course, you can simply like, comment, and subscribe. You know the deal. For more videos, links to my channel and a related playlist are on screen. Thank you for your support.